Before any electrical work is done, you should really have a qualified electrician come into your home to do the work. It's actually, with National Electrical Code, a lot of cities, counties, states, they have it as a law that you have to have a licensed professional in your home to do this work. It is the one thing in your home that will create a fire rather easily and put your family in jeopardy. So if you want to move an electrical outlet that's directly, if you have one on the wall and you need one higher up on the wall for, say, a TV, at that point you go to your panel, you turn your circuit breaker off. You test it with a tester to make sure that the circuit is off, that you have no voltage present whatsoever. Remove the receptacle or the outlet plate from the outlet. The outlet has 2 screws in it that are holding it into a plastic box that's in your wall. Take those screws out. That'll allow you access to the black, the white, and the bare copper wires, which are your hot, your neutral, and your ground wires. You've got access at that point. It's pretty easy to take a wire directly up the wall at that point because most wall cavities are empty, they're hollow. So there's a little hole in the back of the box. If you peer inside the box that the existing outlet is in, you can take a wire and shove it up that hole and just shove it. Keep pushing it up the wall itself to where you're at, to where you think you have enough to get to where you're going. At that point, go to the outlet location that you want to have an outlet at. Take a remodel box, a pencil, make sure it's level and is where you want it. Make your marks around the box so that you know what hole you have to cut out. Take a drywall saw, cut out those marked holes, reach your arm in there and grab the wire itself. Pull the wire through the hole. Then you can put it inside the box. The box itself will have holes on it or a tab you have to push through. Slide the wire in the box, give yourself 6-7 inches of room to play with. Put it back in the hole you just cut. The box itself is going to have screws, caddy corner. Tighten down the screws themselves. They've got tabs on it that'll hold it up against the drywall, and that's what essentially holds your box in at that point. So your markings have to be fairly accurate to make sure that your box has something to hold on to. Once the box is screwed in, you strip out the outer insulation of the wire, and this is where we get into connecting the outlet itself. When you strip out the outer insulation of the wire, you're going to reveal, in most cases, a black, a white, and a bare copper wire. Again, that's your hot, your neutral, and your ground wire. The ground wire gets connected first. That's your bare copper wire. Any connection you make on the outside of an outlet or a switch needs to be made around the screw terminals that the outlet or the switch have. We don't recommend taking the wires and pushing them in the little holes in the back. It is code, but they pop out later, they create heat, they don't make good connection. So you strip out your wire about a 1/2 inch at the most, so that you can get to the bare copper. So if you take your black, you strip out a half inch of the black insulation, make a little loop with needle nose pliers or your strippers. At that point, you take it around each screw clockwise, crimp it down, and then tighten the screw down. The connection should be made in the following order: bare copper wire to the green screw, which is your ground. Then at that point, your white wire to your silver screw, which is your neutral. Those are your safety wires. Those are the ones that, if they're disconnected, they're going to hurt you the worst. At that point, you make your connection with your black itself. Again, strip it out a 1/2 inch, wrap it around the screw clockwise, crimp it down, tighten your screw. All you have to do at that point is screw the outlet into the wall. Keep the ground wire away from the copper screws or the gold screws. That way you don't get any kind of short. And push it into the box, tighten the screws down, put your plate on. Then you go back to the outlet that you originally came from, strip out the outer insulation. More than likely you're going to have at least one black, at least one white, and at least one bare copper. Any connections that are made there, they need to actually have the wires stripped out a 1/2 inch again or more and twisted with a pair of pliers. Then put a wire nut on them. With one wire coming off to go to the outlet itself. Again, we go into stripping it out a 1/2 inch, wrapping the wire around the screw clockwise, crimping it down, screwing the screw back in, screwing the outlet in the wall, putting your plate on, turning your circuit breaker back on, and testing what you've done.